Hi, everybody. I'm Rob Sabin, the editor-in-chief at ProjectorCentral, and I'm here with Doug Ma from Vivitek, who's going to tell us a little bit about some of the projectors that are in Vivitek's booth here. I know you've got some new things either just out or coming down the pike, Doug. So let's start with a couple of the large venue pieces that I know you're doing. What's the most recent introduction? I know that's a 15,000 lumen piece.
Yeah, so the most recent is our WU8395Z. We just launched that probably within the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's been we moved every unit that we brought into the US, so it's been a great mover for us. We've always had a gap between our 13.5 and our 18,000 lumen projector, so it seemed to fit right on in with the country opening back up. There's a need for these large venue projectors out there. So it uses the same chassis that we've always had with the 8000 series. So all the lenses from a 0.38 all the way to a 8.5-ish work with it. So they're all, a very familiar chassis, just with upgraded lasers in them to make them a little bit brighter.
Gotcha. Now these are laser phosphor designs, right?
Correct. So all our large venue series today have moved over to laser at this point. We no longer carry any lamps. Seems to be the wave of the future. Less maintenance, better color saturation out of them.
Absolutely. Everybody's moving in that direction. Sealed light engines on these products?
Yeah. Yep, they're all sealed light engines on these. So you don't have to worry about dust getting into them at all. One unique thing about us is we do have a 5-year warranty on all our stuff. For the large venue projectors, everybody's safe for the 5 years that's up and running. We don't expect them to fail at 5 years. I mean, these things have been tested to last a lot longer. Our half-life test shows us that we are still at 70-80% brightness. Even when it hits that 20,000 hours.
Gotcha. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about some of the setup facilities on this projector, because I know you guys like to try to make it easy for the end user to facilitate any kind of application. You did mention that there's 8 lenses, so that gives you a good deal of flexibility to start with.
Yeah. So on our 8395 or DU8395Z, there is 8 lenses on that. So everything from straight against the wall to right across the room, you can get the same image size. There's 8 interchangeable lenses. It has motorized lenses on these, and it also has a zoom capability. So it makes the installation really easy for most installers. You can press the buttons on a remote without having to get up there and do anything manual at that point.
Yeah, that's always a great feature. Did I also notice that there's lens memory capability on these on this model?
Yes. So all of our large venue that starts with the 8000 series and above come with lens memory on the lenses themselves.
Gotcha. And basically, what about things like warping, blending, stacking? Any facilities for that?
Same thing here on our 8000 and our new 9000 series that will be our current 9000, but we do have a new one coming also has all that built in. So we have warping, stacking, all that's built into these projectors.
Sure. And then what do you guys have an MSRP or a street price actually for this projector minus the lens, obviously?
The MSRP currently sitting at 26,000 for this projector, and that is the current end user cost for this particular projector without the lenses.
Gotcha. Okay, great. All right. Well, let's move on now to the big boy. This is the DU990 9900Z, right?
Yeah, that's correct. This is our latest and greatest. We'll be launching this in Q3, most likely July timeframe. It will be our brightest. We always get the question, when are you guys going to hit 20,000 lumens? So that was the goal last year, but with the pandemic, everything changed. But it gave us some time. So we were hitting about 21,000 lumens, but we were able to get the piece up to 22,000 lumens by the time when it was done. So it will be our brightest in our lineup. 22,000 lumen laser projector, WUXGA. This particular series has 5 interchangeable lenses, so it doesn't go as close as what we can with the 8,000 series. But most cases, you wouldn't be using this in that situation. It would be in a major, large venue where they're doing a concert or so forth, or in a church installation. So you wouldn't need to be, at a 0.3 throw or anything like that.
Right. Sure. You don't necessarily need a UST. I think the smallest lens in this particular range, if I read correctly, is a 0.8, which is, pretty tight lens anyway. So.
Yep, exactly.
Now, there's some stuff in this projector that you're touting just to sort of show off the image quality. Things like the dark chip that's being used, brilliant color. What else is in there that gives you guarantees you a better picture?
Yeah, so we have it. With a lot of the lasers today, you can dim down the lasers. In this particular projector, we have settings in there where we know that a lot of this stuff is being used for video. So in order to get a better video quality out of it, it uses the dark chip and so forth to have a setting in order to, I guess, create more accurate colors, I would call it, than the typical large venue. Because a lot of times when you're using large venue, you're just trying to go as bright as possible. But in some instances where these are used as maybe for an outdoor cinema or so forth, you would need, or you would like, more accurate colors. So that's why this one was built with a little bit more of those built-in functions in there.
Right, and I noticed it's 3D compatible as well. Do you require an emitter, right, for 3D installation?
Yeah, the 3D one uses the DLP link technology. It's just in there because of the chip capability. I don't think most people use the 3D technology these days. I mean, a lot of our projectors carry them, but the attachment rate on 3D is not too high for us.
Right. So it's not something that frequently gets used, but it's something that gets tossed in these days. So
yeah.
What else do you want to tell us about it? What about the other setup facilities? I know these are as laser units. They support 360-degree orientation, right?
Yeah. Yes, they do. So yeah, this one, I mean, other than it being pretty large, I mean, it has the same capability where you can mount them any way you need them. This one is a lot heavier. It's, I would call it a small table kind of thing. So it does require it to be, I guess, it's not as flexible in mounting in terms of you need to make sure that you have the right type of mount to get it up and your ceiling or is secure enough to handle this guy.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. All right. Let's move on. Tell me a little bit about the DW770 UST. This is also a relatively new model from this year.
Yeah, we just launched this model about 2 months ago. This model is an education projector, or primarily focused there. You can use them in other places also. We have some of these in the local bars and so forth. But with what happened last year during the pandemic, a lot of the schools were not able to get their technology updated. So knowing that, I guess, with what's going on out there and everybody needing the largest screen as possible inside the school, with students being staggered into classrooms, this is the model that we came up with, where it's an upgrade from our previous models. We just made it a little bit brighter. We added a new lamp to it, so actually it lasts up to 12,000 hours now. So you can the school doesn't have to constantly replace lamps. So there's a couple of new features in here like that, just to, I guess, refresh the school year for the classrooms at this point.
Yeah, and I should point out this is a 3,500 lumen lamp-based product. So basically XGA or WXGA? WXGA, right?
This one's a WXGA projector. We have them in 1080p also. They're 3,500 lumens, and yeah, they're lamp-based. In schools, we're finding that lamp-based is still a necessity due to cost. So most of our lineup down in that territory is lamp. We do have laser versions of these projectors, but for schools, it's just not feasible because the cost is way too high. They need to get as many classrooms up as possible. Hence why we went to the longer lamp life. We made sure that we can get as long as lamp life as possible here.
Sure, and that's obviously a very competitive space. Those value classroom projectors. What is the price on this product?
I think the MSRP on this would be about $11.99.
Yep. So now there's a few things about it that you have thrown in there that we can talk about as well. I noticed that it has 4K compatibility, which is a kind of a nice feature to have for a classroom today, even in an inexpensive projector. So obviously that's a good start right there.
Yep. We're noticing that is a thing that a lot of people are asking for these days. It's funny, we're incorporating those into our large venue because some of our large venues don't even do that now. But as the line evolves, everything new that's coming out, even if it's not at 4K resolution, we're making sure that I can accept that and then scale it to whatever resolution's on the screen. It seems to be the wave of the future where a lot of people are using 4K devices, yet they don't have the matching display device.
Right, sure. And a 0.35 to 1 throw on this particular projector, so you get about 100-inch image from less than 16 inches from the screen. Mm-hmm. Vertical lens shift I saw is in there as well, which is a nice little thing to have in a UST. Helps get things set up a little more quickly.
Yeah, and one of the things that we did here is we actually, for every purchase of the projector, we actually include a wall mount. Our wall mount is designed to make things a little easier to install. It has a pitch, and what we've noticed is before we didn't include a wall mount and they went to go buy a third-party mount, sometimes those third-party mounts, I guess, weren't sufficient enough due to the fact that when you're doing an ultra short throw, if the wall is off by a little bit, it's going to create a major, flaw into the image. So what we did was we included a mount that we tested ourselves that has all the correct settings that makes it very easy to install.
Right. Okay, well, is there anything else that you want to add about any of the projectors or about Vivitek specifically before we cut off here?
Not really. I mean, we're here trying to reinvent ourselves with the laser lineup, going as bright as possible. We're just looking forward to seeing everybody once things open back up. For more information about our stuff, you know where to go. So it's like www.vivitechusa.com. So
awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much again for the time and for joining us for Projection Expo. And we look forward to seeing you as well.
Okay. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you. Bye-bye.